Hey guys, it's Jess, and I'm excited to share a live and later video with you today. If you're not familiar with live and laters, basically what that means is I recorded this during a live stream on my YouTube channel, and then I've edited it down into a tutorial format so that those who don't like to watch the lives or don't have time can still see what we created and all of the details of the project without having to go through all of the chit chat and all of that from a live stream. So for this card, I'm using one of the previous My Monthly Hero kits. Now this one was from December of 2018. It is sold out, so unfortunately you can't get this one anymore, but they do have a lot of other awesome kits, and I will link over to their site in the description below in case you want to check out what they currently have in stock. So for this, I'm doing a lot of masking. I'm using my mini Misty to do my stamping and get everything lined up just in case I need to stamp more than once. I'm using some full sticky back post-it note tape or post-it notes in order to stamp and then cut out my masks. That just makes a sticky back so that my stamped image is covered up and I can stamp over top of it. This gives the effect that things are in front of or behind other things and lets you build up a really cool scene without having to have a lot of cutout pieces stacked on top of each other, creating a lot more dimension. So just repeating that step over and over again. I only cut one mask for each item here. I could have saved myself some time or some stress of trying not to overlap things if I had cut more than one mask, but I didn't want to bother. It takes me a really long time to fussy cut things, so I tend to try to do the bare minimum when it comes to masking. One of my friends who was watching during the live stream, though, did suggest a really cool idea that I don't know why I never thought of before, so thanks, Heidi. She suggested to cut multiple pages of the sticky note tape after I've stamped the one image on top. That way you get multiple masks at the same time and you don't have to cut each individual one out. I think she mentioned that she may have learned it from Jennifer McGuire or somewhere similar to that, so I'm definitely excited to try that out in a future card. So I'm using the Spectrum Noir Finesse ink in Noir Black. That is an alcohol-friendly ink, so I can use my Spectrum Noir markers. I am going to be doing quite a bit of coloring here, so I'm going to pop on some music for you. And I have also tried to link the colors that I used in case you're interested in knowing which combinations I've used for these. Now, I did speed this up a ton. It's like 10 times the speed because I do color fairly slowly, and I didn't want to keep you here all day. So let's go ahead and pop some music on and I'll be right back with you after we're done coloring. Alright, so now that our coloring is all done, we're going to move on and do some ink blending. So I picked a few colors that I thought would work well together from the Distress Oxide collection. You could do this with Distress inks as well, but I thought the Oxides were a little bit softer and that they would look really nice with this particular card. So that's what I decided to go with. So the first color that I used is Tattered Rose, and I went in almost all the way down to where my scene at the bottom was, but I did leave a little bit of pure white cardstock down there, just around the edges of my design. Then I went in with the Victorian Velvet color, and I blended right over top of the Tattered Rose. I find that layering the color up like this seems to give me better results than if I tried to just blend each color individually and happen to like line them up with a nice even blend. When you go over top of it, for whatever reason, it seems to layer up nicely and the blend seems a little bit more smooth, at least for me. So then I went in with the Seedless Preserves last. Now this is a very dark color in comparison to the other two, so I did smear off and rub off some of that excess color on a scrap piece of paper over on the side. And then I went in with my lighter colors again and blended over top of that. That's the cool thing about the Distress Oxides versus the Distress inks, is that you can go over top of a darker color with a lighter color and it actually will lighten up that design for you. So once I was happy with my ink blending, I did go ahead and trim down my card panel, and I also got out my mini MISTI once again so I could stamp my sentiment. I decided to just use plain black because I wanted the scene itself to do most of the talking for this card. I didn't want to get too fancy or too crazy with my sentiment, so I just wanted it to be fairly simple. So this one says, "Sending happy fairy wishes your way," which I think is so perfect for this card. This started out as a sympathy card for a Hero Arts challenge, but it kind of went off the rails and turned into something else, but I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. So there's a look at the finished card, and I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and be sure to hit that bell notification icon so that you don't miss another video. I'll see you guys again really soon. Bye!